Right guys, welcome back to a bit of a different video this time. Now, I already had a bit recorded, but I'm going to put this bit on at the beginning, so keep watching after this bit. And what I've done is a comparison video with the Trooper, if you can see it up at the back there, and the ML, like a side-by-side sort of review, opinion / walk around of the two of them. So at the end of this video, just keep watching and it'll roll on to the walk around of that. I've kind of recorded it in reverse, but hey ho, it's going to get put together. Just thought I'd show you ask for updates and progress on the cars. So as you know, this has been stood for 6 months, and I used it right through last year, the 6 months of the summer tone. So it requires an oil change, but an oil change on nearly a 4 litre V6 is not just a little task, as you can see. So for a start, we've got 10 litres of oil, proper Volkswagen spec, but it's Quantum 540, and if you look down on the spec, it's got the proper ratings. If you look down there, Mercedes-Benz, just here, and the one that this one needs is I think it's the 22931. It actually needs 2293, but it's 31. It's even better again what this car actually needs. And obviously German technology, made in Britain. Original equipment. So there's 10 litres of oil. It supposedly says it takes 8, but I know it actually sometimes takes more than 10. You can't always go off the guides. What we have got is I've specifically found this filter for one reason. A man filter. But I want this one because it's reinforced. Now this car gets a lot of heavy use with tone only basically. And if you look, it's wrapped in string, like paracord. And that keeps the filter together if it decides to disintegrate. Where the Bosch one, I think that's in there, isn't. And I don't like that idea. And you can see your fitting marks there and there. So a new nice man filter. And as I mentioned, midway through the year last year on startup, there was a slight little top end tap around this area, but it was just me being pathetic. It was only for 10-15 seconds on startup, and I put some winds stuff in and it's completely disappeared. It's gone. So since I'm taking the oil out, I decided to go one step better and get some 40 top end treatment. So I'll just be putting that in the space of the stuff that's coming out. The oil on this car, to be quite honest, is really clean, but it absolutely reeks of petrol. Because I mean, I'll try and find something to put this on. Let's see. Let's find just something. Bit of paper over here. I'll just rub it on that and you'll see what I mean. It's like brand new. Not even black at all. But unfortunately, it absolutely reeks very, very strongly of petrol, because it does a lot of cold starting up, a lot of short journeys and stuff like that. And when petrol is in the oil, the same as diesel, petrol's a lot more corrosive than diesel. So when it's in the engine, what it does is it eats into all the rubber seals, your crankshaft oil seals, your camshaft, your rocker cover gaskets, and it makes all the rubber go very hard and brittle, and it causes your oil leaks. So that's another reason as well why I'm changing it. It looks as good as new when it comes out, which I'll show you when I drain it, but it's not really what I would class as ideal, and it's been more than a year, so we'll get it done. Plus the oil that's in is 530, which is more than what it needs. This is 540. Just in case you don't realise, the first one, the 5W, that's how thin the oil is when it's cold. Basically how cold it can go down to before its viscosity starts to change. So in this country, the 5 is more than capable. Hence you ever rarely hear of a 1040 oil, because they're old school kind of oils, which like the Trooper needs. But the 40 spec is how thin the oil gets when it gets hot, how hot it can get. The 30 grade oils get very thin when they get hot, and when they're thin, they lose that kind of lubricating properties and can cause leaks, where the 40 grade stays that little bit thicker as it gets really at the top end of its temperature, which A, doesn't cause leaks and stops kind of, how can I explain, just better lubricating for the engine. So a 540 is a perfect spec, A, for that engine, but B, just generally for this country. It's a very broad spec, where 530s are good for economy and all that nonsense, fuel economy and stuff, but the 540 is really what you want in your car. And if you look at the most top-end spec sports cars and stuff, it's generally 540 that you use. So I'm just going to pause it now, and we'll get the oil filter out and have a look. Right, so that's the oil filter out. These Mercs are so easy to do the oil filter, as I will say. And look how clean it is in there. This car's had extensive oil changes through its whole life. Sometimes only 1,000 miles it was doing. So it's been really looked after in that sense. I just use this wrench. I have a white mark on there, and I have a white mark on there, and it keeps everything right. But as you can see, what I've done, I've changed all the seals. There's this top one which went flying, that one went flying over there, this one, and this one. And as you can see, that's what's left of that one, and the two that went flying. I couldn't get them, but I just wanted to show you the difference between the two filters. See what I mean? With why I wanted the one with the like paracord stuff wrapped around it, because the start to like suck in and blow out. But when you look at the oil that's come out though, just on there, it's like new, but it absolutely reeks of petrol. I'm just going to move that away from it. Not that it matters, because it's going to be getting full of oil anyway. So all you do, you just always check these. They're made in Germany. Sometimes they have top and bottom written on, but these don't. Now, if they don't, I tend to always put the writing to the top, but bearing in mind this is upside down, and you just push it on. You just pop them on like that, and then you just push it, and it'll click and meet that line. And the reason that line's there, if you put it on the reversal way, it's the same. But I'll probably struggle to do it one-handed without it slipping off. But yeah, so all you do is you just give it a hard push with two hands evenly, push it down, and it'll make a pop sound, and that'll then be level with that. And then that way, I'll show you. You just drop it into there and spin it on, then take it up, drop the oil out. There you go, that's popped into there. Just to case it, tightening it up, then I just use that filter. Obviously it's got to do another good few turns yet. Then what I like to do is match up that white dot to that white dot, and I just know it's fine. Yes, you do the Newton meters and stuff, but I know when it's tight. I've done enough of them to know. And that's it, nicely tightened up, and as you can see, matched up perfectly. I know that doesn't leak, so I would put the cover back on, but once I've got the oil out and the new oil in and we started up, I just like to just check around it for any leaks. So I've already got it positioned on the lift. We'll get it up and we'll get the oil drained out. But before that, I did just want to show you this little tool, which is so good for getting, it's like a little very sharp pick for getting the seals off the filter housings. Definitely a must have in your little toolkits. Right guys, as you can see, a lot of these four-wheel drives have stupid ideas. So I've got this bit of polystyrene, so the oil's running off the polystyrene and down. As you can see, it's lovely and clean. It just stinks of petrol. So yeah, so that's now currently filling up. But what it used to do, this is the same time, it would hit that, bounce off that, go into this, fill this flipping subframe of oil, then it would leak for weeks and weeks. Funny enough, like the other car is doing now. But when you look at that oil, it's lovely and clean, but unfortunately, it's just reeking of petrol. So there we go. Just thought I'd show you a top tip with that. Little tricks of the trade. Just a bit of rubbish lying about, how you can utilise it. Anyways, I need to give me dad a hand, because that's filling up. Catch you once we've got it tightened up. Right, so that has been 8 litres of oil gone in, and it was up to the mark. And then I totally forgot. I went, I forgot to put me treatment in. So I put the treatment in, but luckily it's got to fill all this massive oil filter housing up. So I'll probably get away with it. So once I've started it and let it run and check it, it's probably going to be bang on the mark. So what we're going to do now, obviously the oil cap's on, engine cover's still off, oil filter's checked, dipsticks in, obviously you check the right amount of oils in. Sorry if you guys or mechanics and you do this all the time. I'm just talking you through how to do an oil change. Some cars are very different to others. So, correct amount of oil in, oil filter, whether it's underneath or at the top, you leave that exposed, everything on, ready to start. Whatever treatment you're putting in. It's not something I normally do, but with this, it does get hard use, so I want that in. So we're going to go for a fire up, and I'll show you what to be checking for. So, obviously this is an automatic, so it's fine, but just make sure you haven't got it in gear. Fire it up, and we need to watch for the... Weirdly, this car's not got an actual oil light, which is weird. It's got an oil level indicator, but not a proper red oil light, which I find really weird. So we'll start it up, listen for any funny noises. Check there's no lights on. So it isn't. Check for any irregular noises, ready to turn it off immediately. Go back to the oil filter. Just check your hands round it. Nothing. Nothing. Happy days. That's okay. That's okay. Now we're just going to leave it to run for about a minute. Knock it off. I'll take it back up. Check around the sump plug that there's no leaking. I'm just OCD like that. I like to just double check things. And also recheck the oil filter. So as you can hear, this secondary air pump sounds like a Hoover. This will be cutting off any second if you listen. that just heats the cats up. It's just like a little mini turbo, to be honest. That's all it is. It's like a hairdryer. You'll hear in a second that'll go off. Once it warms the cats up the temperature. Obviously it's stone cold, so it's taking a little bit of time. There we go. That's that knocked off. Just let it come to a nice idle. Just feeling around, checking. No leaks. Got a bit of paper because I've just spotted a bit of oil that got spilt when I did the filter back here. There we go. Really, that's it. You don't need to go revving them up or nothing silly like that. Just let them come to a nice idle. Again, back of the dashboard. No unusual lights. To be quite honest, we can turn it off. There's no point in checking your levels when cars have been up on lifts like this. So what I do now is have a final check around there, get the engine cover on, take it up, check the sump plug, off the lift, start it up again, reverse it back out, bring it back in, let the suspension self-level, and then we'll check the oil once it's stood for about 5 minutes or so. So I'll come back to you when I've got it up on the lift and we'll check around the sump. Quick check underneath. There we go, there's the sump plug. Lovely and dry, happy days. So that's just what I wanted to check under there. So I'll catch you when we're back at the top. So there we go, it's been reversed out, brought back in. I'm just going to simply switch it off, check the oil, and that's it done. Just a basic way of showing you how to change the oil on an ML. Trust us, it's an easy one. There's far, far more awkward cars out there where oil filters are in awful places. They're awkward to get out. I mean, these, technically speaking, you don't even need to take the engine cover off, but I still like to, just to see if any oil leaks around the edge. So we'll leave it there, but remember, now this will click over. Yeah, this will click over onto a walk around review and kind of pros and cons of the Isuzu Trooper and the ML. I think they're two very fitting cars. So it'll switch over to that now. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure how I'm going to start this bit. I'm either going to do this as a separate video, so it won't be in the weekly vlog, or it will be in the weekly vlog as an extra. I don't know. I might do this as a separate video. So I've got the two big girls together. As you know, I've acquired an Isuzu Trooper, but I will not part with me ML. So here we go for a quick little walk around. So there we go. Both these vehicles actually originate from about 1998. This is on S-plate, a very early facelift, 1998. But these did start around about that year, approximately. So even though this is a facelift and it's the last of them with the LED indicators and the clearer lights and stuff, it's still 1998 technology. The Trooper is far more old school than the Merc. Different leagues, but very different cars. So much different, in fact, I can't begin to explain. This is very car-like to drive. I swear to God, this thing just drives like like an S-Class. It really does. There is no knocking, banging. It is so smooth to drive. It's lovely. Automatic, big Brembo brakes. It's the boys. So no, I'm definitely not going to sell that and use this to tow. It's a very capable vehicle, but I still prefer this. Even if it's petrol, I still prefer it. Sounds great, actually. But I really was convinced the Trooper was a bigger car. Yes, it is height-wise, as in the way the roof goes, as you can see that profile. But I've got them parked pretty much, as you can see, in line. And I was convinced the Trooper was going to be a damn side longer at the back. But you know what? It isn't. And I can't understand. Because the boot in the Trooper is so much bigger than the ML. Unless it's just my imagination, I can't figure that one out. But I'm over the moon with these two heavyweights. Absolutely love them. Old school petrol, 3.7 V6, sounds absolutely amazing, drives amazing. Old school 3.1, really older, as you know, it's got an engine conversion in, and it gives you the real full experience of driving an old school off-roader. But what do you guys think? Like I mentioned, this has been converted to the 3.1, it's not the 3 litre, no computers, nothing, as basic as it gets. Still got all the luxuries, but nowhere near what the Merc's got. But yeah, I think it looks absolutely spot on. I love both of them. I wouldn't get rid of them. This is the cheaper tax, PLG tax, 300 quid. This, unfortunately, has just gone up to £400 because it's a 54 plate. But yeah, the differences are vast when it comes to spec and probably capabilities off-road. with a set of off-road tyres. This has got low range, that's got low range, and they've both got four-wheel drive. But obviously the difference being, this has got your great big Brembos on, and twin pot Brembo type on the back, where the Trooper has just got little single piston ideas on the back and single piston on the front. But that's the way my L200, my 2019 L200, sorry my voice is going guys, was the same as that, so it's not unusual. Your proper diesel torquey engine. This is your petrol refinement. I'll just show you around briefly on the interiors. Like, this Merc is just lovely. It's a beautiful place to be. Luxury car, but you've got to bear in mind this was a much more expensive car in its day. Memory seats, heated seats, cruise control, speed limiter, sat nav, TV, you name it. It's got everything. Like you say there, low range, automatic. This car is, I would not part with this. The auto dipped in mirror, automatic lights and wipers, all that kind of stuff. Electric folding mirrors, anti-dip on your driver's mirror as well as there. And when you go around, it's just absolutely fantastic, really. It's just a shame it's so grotty with the rot, which I've been keeping on top of, but you can't do everything with these things. You can only do so much, you know. But the boot on this, it's still big by any means. I can fit the full cage in, but just the Trooper seems to have a much better square end back. I don't ask how. I'll go and get the key and I'll show you the difference. Maybe it's because it's got a swinging opening door. I don't know. We'll not get to the interior because we'll keep this one separate. We'll open the boot on this and you'll see what I mean. It's massive, including it's obviously got that extra little side door, which I really like. I don't understand how this can be so big at the back, but this is, God knows, because there certainly isn't any extra room in the cabin. Maybe it's wider. I would probably say the Trooper's a lot wider. Maybe. I don't know. But the Merc is like, you know, is proper rugged and hardcore underneath, is what the Trooper is. I will say. And you get a look under there, the Trooper's still in good nick. I'm going to get it all that coated as well. But yeah, that's obviously around the Merc. I'm just going to shut the boot on this one and shut it on this one. Give that a pop. Take some getting used to that. And then the door slams itself shut. So yeah, obviously the Merc, it's got its marks and everything. To be honest, the Trooper on bodywork is in much better condition than this. Definitely better. As you see, it's had a bit of a clunk there before I got it. But yeah, it's just a nice car, this is. We'll open the bonnets on them. But this is your luxury vehicle, you know what I mean? It's a different league of luxury to what a Trooper. I'm saying the top of the range one of them is a nice car. There's your naturally aspirated 3.7 V6, which I'm actually going to do an oil and filter on, which will be in this weekly vlog. In fact, rather than being in a weekly vlog, I'll record it as part of this, so it's like a bit of a service and a tweak. I've got the proper Quantum 540 oil to go in, a new oil filter, and a little bit of treatment to put in the oil, because it gets a hard life for towing the caravan all the time. So yeah, nice easy engine to work on. 12 spark plugs, platinums. They were done a couple of years ago. They'll never need done as long as I'm going to be keeping it for. Air filter was done last year, but everything else has been done. Nothing to worry about on this. So happy days. And obviously the Trooper, I've just shut the bonnet for the photograph, so I have to reopen it. It's not the original engine for the car, so it is in a bit of a state. So obviously on the Trooper, got your 3.1 ECU completely disconnected, not required. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of this, because it's all redundant, doesn't work, not required. That'll all be going the journey, as well as all the HR systems gone, and it'll all be going down there. I'll get into that in a different video, what I'm going to be doing. But as you know, two totally different vehicles. Now we'll have a quick look inside the Trooper. Bearing in mind this is a 98 vehicle, that's an early 2005. Still got your 4 electric windows, central locking, electric folding mirrors, heated mirrors, electric aerial. Yeah, but like I said, this is a working vehicle, totally different. I love all the manual switches all over the place. It's spot on. But yeah, basically different category of vehicle completely to the other one. So we'll just show in the back, because I just don't get where the extra space has gone between the two of them, personally. That's my little girl's potty training. But yeah, this is so much bigger in the back, but yet the vehicles are the same size. I don't get how that's possible. It's got my brain frazzled a little bit, that has. But yeah, there we go. Just thought I'd do a quick update on the two vehicles, the two SUVs of the fleet. Leave your comments below. What do you guys think? Before anybody says, oh, sell the ML, keep the Trooper, it'll do everything, or blah, blah, blah. The ML owes us nothing. It gets kept off the road in the winter between September and March. I've got storage for it, and the Trooper's going to get used all year round. The bodywork's too far gone on the ML. It would just start looking really tatty. No, I wouldn't want to tow the caravan everywhere with the Trooper, because it's older, it's had an engine conversion, it hasn't got the nice luxuries like cruise control and speed limit as an automatic, which is really nice when you're towing. So yeah, what do you think? I personally just stand here looking at, absolutely love the two of them. I think they're great. Between the two of them, they don't owe us very much money, and really, it's dailies and stuff. They're not bad cars to have around. Like I say, I can tow cars in all the time with the Trooper. Helps as a garage car, helps for taking the dogs out, plenty of space. If I want to go off-roading, I'm going to start doing some beating with the dogs. Well, with Hunter, Harvey won't. It can get us places I need to be. It's just a general good all-round car. So is the ML in its own ways and right. It does get a bit thirsty, that thing. The Trooper is on a different level if you drive it sensibly of economy. So yeah, obviously I've got the Altea in the van. I'm not sure where they fit in now. Possibly there for sale. If anybody's interested in the Altea, or if anybody's interested in the van, don't just say price please or whatever. I'm not discussing that publicly. If you could just leave a comment below, or send us a private message on Facebook, or contact us on the phone number on the description. I'm more than happy to speak to you, because I've got a list the length of my arm for both vehicles, what's been done. I just can't really see where the van fits in or the Altea fits in when I've got two big four-wheel drives. Really, I don't go far. I walk to work and back every day. I've got Holly's Astra to use if I need a long distance car, which is a bit more economical. So yeah, just thought I would update everybody on how the fleet's going and what's what. Just a short video, 10 minutes. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already done so, hit the like, and please hit the subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're watching my video till the end, there's no reason you shouldn't be subscribed. It's free of charge. I'll catch you later, guys.